What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Rated G podcast. I'm your host, G. For those of you who are new here, welcome to the show. Here on the podcast, I like to discuss all things related to art and creativity, and I usually feature other local artists and creatives, and we engage on some in-depth topics. And while doing so, I like to promote their art and their brand. So if you're into this type of content, please be sure to follow if you're listening, subscribe if you're watching, ring that bell so you can keep up with the new uploads. If you're watching on YouTube, please leave comments, questions, critiques, whatever. I'm all in for the feedback. So also be sure to check out our links to our social media provided in the show descriptions. All right, and yeah, that's about it. Share with your friends. There you go. Always trying to help out grow the podcast, so hitting all of those necessary buttons will certainly help. All right, now let's go. Very interesting month of June. So yeah, happy July. July 4th is upon us. Uh I don't have plans. Feel like I'm past that now. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, July 4th is upon us. But yeah, June has been interesting. I mean, overall, it was another good month, but in terms of events now, uh it's still a roller coaster ride. Still a roller coaster ride. Because momentum I seem to be in right now is I'll I'll book, let's say, 3 events that month, and then one of those three will be like it'll be a banger, right? I'm exceeding my expectations, my goals. Business is going pretty good. And then the other remaining two, it's shit shows. And it's not the fault of the event coordinators, the organizers. I'm always grateful for opportunities, especially new opportunities. So it's not really the fault of the coordinators. Sometimes these things, I mean, for a saturated market now, it's like I hate to say it's almost a given, especially with new markets. So, um, which I'm gonna get into because at the end, there was a new one that I attended, and it was anyway. So the June, the first event I had was the Faith Festival in Charlottesville. Now I generally do well in that area, and this was my second time doing Faith Fest. This is the same organizer that puts together the annual Charlottesville Arts Festival. And last year, actually, I'm gonna hit my bowl if you don't mind. Last year, when I did it for the first time, it was a great turnout. That year, last year it was awesome. Great for business, great for the growth, everything, the exposure. Um, but then this year was kind of off for whatever reason. And um the arts festival I didn't do so well in May. So I was like I wasn't sure how like this was gonna turn out, be in the same area, same organizer, same crowd. Like I was very uh cautious about, I don't know. I was just like, all right, hopefully it's not gonna be as bad. But it turned out to be a great event. I met some awesome new people. Saw some familiar faces. The crowd overall was great, and um, so like the first day was great, because it was like a 2-day event, so Saturday, Sunday. The first day was great. Like, oh shit, all right. I mean, there were a couple like things that, like some obstacles, because the venue had another event that required this large tent that they put out sometimes. And that happened to be in the area where my spot was at. So, because it was still there, my tent, well, I couldn't put my tent up. Like there was, a few other vendors that couldn't do it either. So it was just, and leaving our stuff there overnight, like it just felt very uneasy about it. But, we're just like, we're just gonna pack up all the artwork, the framed art. We'll leave the grids, the tables, because they have overnight security. So like, I know they have good security, but just yeah, I didn't it didn't feel quite right. So yeah, I took the artwork with me. Um, and yeah, everything was fine, honestly. Yeah, so going into Sunday. I'm like, all right, hopefully, like we can have like it's this will be like the same momentum, like same amount of foot traffic and visitors and all that. Um, if we can make the same amount, that'd be great too. So anyway, uh, it ended up being like I think even I'd say even better, honestly. A couple people came back and hung out, like just getting to know these people in the area, and I actually had some interest on commissions, event commissions, because I was just bringing that back. Uh, not like now, like I know people attending art festivals that are, let's say weekend, like a full weekend, like a big thing. Like not, I never got any offers, at a market, at a pop-up market. So it just kind of like I can see it now. It makes sense. So. But because I was so new at it, like well, not new. I really had to warm up that muscle of doing something on the spot again. Um, because like I just like I want to try to meet a certain uh time span, like how long I work on a picture. And just all the things, the arthritis in my hands, like there's all these factors that made me like, oh, this is like I really gotta warm up to this. So that was useful. But yeah, I ended up having to finish these commissions at home because I fell behind with one, and yeah, like so the customers were polite enough and they're like, yeah, no problem, and I didn't charge them extra for shipping. So, um, but yeah, so that was definitely one of the highlights, the interactions too. Like, it was so funny because for the last commission that I had, it was actually the mother of the son who also commissioned the portrait. So he came first. I took his picture and just told him like, hey, like you might have to like mail this out to you. Which he was fine with. He comes back later with his mom, and she's like, oh yeah, I would like to have one as well. And then she was questioning her son's picture because according to her, he had like this sort of, he had like this phony smile that he would just like, I guess like we all have that. Like when we're taking pictures, we have just like this generic fake smile. So I guess she was worried about him doing that in his picture. And I was like, this is like a good picture. And I showed her. Because like we did retake a couple, right? But then I showed her the first one and she's like, Oh, you know what? Never mind. He looks good there. It was so funny. And then when it came to taking her photo, we had to take several because like, we took a couple with her. She had glasses on. So she's like, no, let's take them without my glasses. And then we just took a few and it was just so funny because the first couple takes, she kept looking serious. Like just smile. Like she just couldn't get like this genuine smile out unless we were, just laughing about it. But once I put the camera on, she's like struggled. I'm like, think about your favorite food or something. And then we managed to get a good shot. Um, but yeah, so thank you to them. Um, because that was uh that was just fun. The whole outcome was great, and um yeah. So that was the peak of that month. Because then the second event, which was kind of last minute, I believe, it was 804 Fest, which I'm pretty sure I spoke of once before because I did it. So this was my second time doing it. The first time was like a couple months ago, I think. Or maybe that was in May also. Um, it's all a blur already. But I did 804 Fest and it did not go very well either. Unfortunately, it's been like a tough, like, for the coordinator too. Like, shout out to Caroline because she's been trying to put something together for the for us like visual artists, and she works at this place, this venue called River City Roll. It's like a bowling alley slash bar restaurant. They have live bands play there. They got a stage for it. It's like a cool spot. um but yeah, when it came to like this I don't know, I guess they're trying to make it a monthly event, but it just seems like the artists are secondary. Like, it's all about the music performances, which is fine. But it's just like as she puts it, it feels like the artists are second thought. So she's just been dealing with some adversity with that. But yeah, I almost thought about bailing early. Like I got there because like that place was like jam packed when I got there. There was like 200 plus people there probably. It was like a funeral party. And I don't know the whole story, but apparently a lot of people were not prepared for it. So it was just chaos. This place is packed. Um and like it was just like it was kind of not a hustle, but it was like you really had to like get yourself through the people. And I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be a pain in the ass with my car and everything. Like, I don't know. And then I almost thought I was considering leaving. Caroline was nice enough to be like, look, I understand. Like we weren't expecting this, and so there was a lot of like miscommunication or lack of maybe. But yeah, I was very doubtful that night. Uh and I didn't make any money. Like the first time I actually made like 20, 45 bucks, I think. And then this time it was like it just wasn't that wasn't my night, which is fine. So that happened, and then that um that's no, was it Saturday? Yeah, that Saturday. Um, I went to Norfolk for the farmers market. First time doing an event there, and did not go well either. Barely got any like barely any stop. Like it just wasn't the attendant. Like a lot of vendors bailed out. And yeah, I guess there just wasn't enough to really draw in a crowd, and probably other stuff going on too. I think there was something happening on in the at the venue across the street, to be honest, because it looked like there was something going on. But like, so that wasn't my day. And we ended up packing a couple hours early. Came home just in time for fight night. Yeah, no, that was a bummer because I actually lost money on that one. And so like good thing I did very well at Faye Fest because I mean the money I made there, it made up for anything I lost, to be honest. So like I made enough to be able to cover for that, but still the fact that, I spent money for that space, 804 Fest was free, so I wasn't as like butthurt about it as I was with Norfolk. I was like, damn, like this is not the sort of debut I was I was hoping for. Um, so hopefully, I don't know, I'd like to still do one of their flea markets. Because that was the original plan, is to do one of their flea markets and then try to put my stamp there, let people know like, hey, like I'm an artist from Richmond. This is what I do. And then maybe I'll give the farmers market another shot. Maybe have more stuff appropriate for the farmers market. I don't know. But we'll see. I mean, and that, at least that one too, it wasn't expensive. That was like cheaper than what I usually pay for markets, but yeah, so it was in terms of business, it was like a downhill. Although I did like so like it was just a great start for June because I did uh a private commission and like so I was like really making some good money at the beginning, and then those the last two events was just nosedive. You live and learn. So yeah, that was June events. All right. I'm trying to think what else. June we did the um June was Game of Shrooms, which I feel like I talked about that already. Game of Shrooms was fun. Did it with Twist again. Um, yeah, and then, been hanging out with my homies. So overall, it was a good month. But in terms of the events, that was like, all right, like Faye Fest. If only I was able to just keep it going, that momentum, or like, you know, have better and better results with the other ones, but can't win them all. And that's just life. So yeah. Um, Speaking of events, I do have a few things going on for July, so let's cue that music. Um, so here's what's going down in Richmond, okay? July 5th, I will be returning to First Friday Moon Market. So Richmond First Fridays, it's a separate thing, but Moon Market is doing something on that street. At what street is it? Well, anyway, this is happening at Gallery 5 Art Studio. So, yeah, Moon Market is always they always put together a market along is it Broad Street? And I might be wrong. Don't quote me on that. I'm really bad with like directions and geography. But they always put together like a block party. And they feature vendors, food vendors. They got like performances on the street. And yeah, I haven't been doing it for the last 6 months. So it's nice to come back and yeah, just be present there. So that's gonna be on the 5th. So right after Independence Day. Again, this is at Gallery 5. Then July 20th is the Christmas in July Kismet Market at Star Hill Beer Hall and Rooftop. Um, it's pretty cool. Like the whole setup for the whole vendor market setup is in their parking garage. So um, it's a nice open space, and even with the heat, hopefully it's gonna be the heat's been brutal this summer. So um, but better than being in the sun. I'll say that much. So um, that's the 20th, and then the 26th. This is special. Is the opening night for my Tech Utopia solo art exhibit, and it's going to be held at Artworks Studios. It's right on Hull Street in the Manchester area, and yeah, this is exciting. This is my first ever solo exhibit, showcasing the first, 13 pieces total, telling the Tech Utopia story, right? And yeah, I'm just excited. Like, I've been really happy with how well the pieces I've been showing, selling at events, how well received those were, and even just like striking conversation with people. But yeah, apparently like a lot of people resonated with it. So I was really, it was gratifying to see that. And yeah, so to have an art show showcasing that, it's gonna be up for 6 months. So this is yeah, really exciting. It's gonna be a very busy weekend because I have visitors coming down from Jersey, from PA, spending the night here. It's gonna be a full house. My sister-in-law, my nephew, not my sister-in-law, my sister, my actual blood sister, is coming down with my nephew. One of my best friends, Vanessa, she's no stranger to the show. She's a dear friend to the show, is coming down as well. And my old college roommate slash classmate, and her boyfriend. Actually, they've been on before. So Elaine and Dave, they're coming down too. So it's gonna be, like I said, full house. And yeah, so July 26th. If you are around in town looking for something to do, check out some art. If you've never seen my Tech Utopia art at all, or maybe you have, maybe you've been to an event and you saw some of the pieces at the time, because I had to discontinue them because of this exhibit. So, and I think that's been why like some shows have been hit or miss, because the Tech Utopia stuff, that stuff really does hit. It really grabs attention. So not having those up really has affected the outcome, which is okay, because it's I got this art show. So anyway, yeah, I believe the opening reception starts at 6. Don't quote me on that, but I mean, if anything, if you want to keep up with it, you just follow me on Instagram at artofgtorado. And for if you ever want to shop online just to see what I got in stock, you can visit the artofgtorado.square.site. I'm also open for commissions. I got plenty of slots open if you want to get some custom work done. Perhaps you would like to do something special for some sort of special occasion, like your birthday or holiday, anniversary, housewarming, or just for some new decorative art for your home or for someone else's home. You can holla at your boy, because if it is your first time commissioning art from me, you get an automatic 10% discount. Shipping and handling is included in the price, and I am open to payment arrangements if you are dealing with a budget. All right, I always do what I can to accommodate and meet you in the middle somehow. Okay, so yeah, don't be shy. If you got some ideas, feel free to holla. Again, find me on Instagram at artofgtorado. And yeah, we'll just go from there. All right. Now, on to my guest, shall we? Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back for his seventh official return, the one and only Nick Mockoviak.
Slow clap here, slow clap here.
Okay.
So,
So,
yeah, and
explain your
I was
story.
telling G before we were recording. Um, so today is as we're recording, today is Thursday, June 27th. So I'm actually my brother-in-law is getting married tomorrow in Pennsylvania. So my oldest daughter is going to be a ring bearer. So she had to go today for like the dress
Rehearsal.
rehearsal and all that. And I wasn't just home like fiddling around. Like I'm actually working. So like I'm doing what they call summer enrichment, which is like summer camp through the school district. So I was like, yeah, I texted G. I'm like, yeah, Thursday I've got no kids, I got no wife, it's just me. We're just gonna have fun. And I'm like, oh shit, I have all these things to do. I have laundry to do. I've got folds of clothes, and I was just telling you before, like about 2 weeks ago, I bought a resin 3D printer. I'm so excited about it. It sat in the bottom of my studio. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna hook it up today. I'm gonna print with it. And I'm like, oh fuck, it smells in this room so bad. It takes like 5 hours to print something. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? And I'm like, I gotta do this, that. I was gonna text you, like, let's do another day. I'm like, no, I already told you this is my day. We're doing today. And we're gonna ride it for as long as we can. So
It's very honorable of you.
it is. It's now. This is the resin fumes that are just getting to me right now. I'm like, all right, I get all loopy here. So
Okay, fun. Then we'll both be loopy because I'm hitting my bowl.
woo.
Usually when we record, it's like I don't know. It's not serious, but like I don't know. We go
It's
on
more
like
chill because next door, like my kids are sleeping, so I
yeah,
have
that
to live
too.
quiet. It's just me and my dog right now. My dog's in the
Yeah.
other room, so it's just me. So I
Right.
could be a little bit more animated. I could be a little bit more myself, more assholey or whatever. I could be a little bit more loud, a bit more rowdy. But
I mean, the energy feels the same, so it's fine.
so
Um, but it's funny like hearing about you and this printer because like I've been thinking about that too, especially recently because at this recent festival that we did, one of the vendors was he's like an engineer, so he 3D prints these like cool little
yeah,
just these cool little mag like little figurines like dragons and like creature like like fey creatures and stuff like that. And just like yourself, like you're talking about like making cool like collectible figurines, like whether it's Godzilla or whatever. Like I thought the same thing. I was like, man, like if I, keep doing this thing with Tech Utopia, I would definitely consider making, the robot figurines. Like I wanted to do something like I wanted to either do a sculpture or whatever like the option may be at the, when the time comes. But like I've always thought of doing a sculpture.
hmm
Like doing like a 3D print and doing like, like a limited series of some figures and like a certain pose, whatever. So that's like kind of neat idea, but that's a whole nother thing. I don't like I don't have the brain capacity to try to learn something that
like
advanced.
I can fake sculpt. Like I know just enough to like sculpt with like regular clay and whatever.
Yeah.
I know I know just enough to like cast and mold stuff. But 3D printing is like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. So that's
Yeah.
why I'm like, I'll go buy like the STL, like the STSL. I'll buy the files for it and print it myself.
Right. At least for practice.
Yeah.
Like,
But
yeah.
it's like it opens this whole world of like possibility of like, like printing stuff for like yourself. Like for me, like I can like if my daughter wants a dinosaur figure, I can print it now
Mhm.
for her,
Yeah.
and it just there it is. You pay for the file. It's a whole nother world that opens up a whole lot of possibilities. But it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, for us cavemen, that's a big fucking learning curve. Like
Oh my gosh.
now, like you're sculpting like in a program. Like, all right, I don't know I can't even sculpt
Yeah.
clay. Now I gotta know
Like,
the x axis and the y axis, and like I don't know I
yeah.
don't know what the hell this is.
Like it does remind me of, especially when it comes to software, right? Because I guess like, if you're making your own sculpt, like you gotta like make your own models, and I haven't done anything like that since fucking like 3D Max and Maya were the main softwares to use for 3D animators. We're talking like still in the 2000s, like getting into the 2000 teens.
Yeah,
But yeah, I so like and I did very little with the 3D stuff. I was, like the stuff I was doing then was just for classes, so I didn't do anything, extensive. So I just the thought of like, yeah, let me just dive into this brand new software. It's like
no,
I know I don't have the capacity right now to get into that. I'd rather just sculpt because at least that's still familiar and
right. Because at
yeah,
least,
but so power to you.
yeah, I know. I'm like, well, because like, well, I saw like this because with like printing like the figures, you want a resin printer because like there's like filament you can buy that does like a regular 3D printing. That's fine, but like the resin like holds more detail. It lasts longer. And I was like on Amazon, like resin 3D printer, and I saw one. It was like on sale for like 150. Like that's a good price. I remember like, do you remember like 10 years ago, like a 3D printer was like $6,000 or whatever bullshit like that. It was stupid expensive.
But now
Whereas
they're like popular,
yeah,
so I
now it's
guess,
like I bought like the one I bought. It's any cubic. That's the brand. I'm like, all right, whatever. It sounds like a name brand that's like decent. It had a lot of good reviews. I'm like, all right, let me go and get this. And it was on like a sale, and then I put it on a payment plan, so I'm not paying the whole amount. I'm just paying a little bit every month on it. So I'm like, all right,
yeah.
get that. Let me just play with it and kind of see what it does. You know, I highly doubt myself I'm gonna learn the 3D sculpt. Now I say that now, and like maybe like 2 years from now, it's a whole different game. As of today, I'm like, I'm really just using it to kind of just buy things that other people, sculpt 3 dimensionally because they're much better than I on it. Because again, like you have to learn like you're printing different things and different files, and
Mm.
like you're not just printing like a sculpture per se. If you're getting like a figure, you're gonna print like the parts, the joints, the accessories and whatever. And there's all different types of resin too, which I didn't know. Like there's gray resin, black resin, white resin, translucent resin. I'm like, no, like this is too much. This is too much. I'm like, give me one thing, like break it down for me like I'm on a short bus. What am I getting? What do I need to get? What am I starting
Yeah,
off with? And I'll go from there and I'll kind of learn as I go along. Because right
yeah,
now, like all I want to do is just kind of print like just real simple stuff and just kind of see what the program does, the capacity for it is,
yeah.
opposed to like, oh, let me go in and get like the different sculpting programs. I'm like, I can't even use like the free ones they have on Google. I was like playing with it at school. I'm like rotating a ball and sculpting. I'm like, okay, this thing's kind of okay, but I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Versus like, let me get some clay and an armature, some wire, some foil. Let me kind of, all right, now I know what I'm doing. Now this is like more
Yeah.
like my territory versus, okay, I'm on a screen and I'm like, okay, I got to put the X axis here and the Y axis here, and I got to do this geometry shit. I'm like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Out. So
Yeah. Well, power to you.
yeah,
What else? So yeah, man. I usually try to do some sort of preparation, but I don't know. Like with you, it's like I think we've done this enough times where we can riff for a few hours,
yeah, we just let it flow. So
unless there's like something that's like particularly on your mind.
I mean, there's a couple things like I know, uh,
Yeah.
you know, have to get a license for these guns now. But
I know. I was just gonna say. So I was like, I was gonna point it out. I'm like, look at you, like showing off your guns
no,
there.
well, it's also like, well, first of all, like last week here in New Jersey, like we had like this like ridiculous heat wave, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, and last week I was telling you was the last week for our like regular school year. We
Right.
ended on Friday, the 21st. And let me tell you, it was fucking brutal.
Mm.
You know, when you're in a room with no air conditioning with like 25 kids that
Ooh.
all have like body odor and whatever, you're like, oh my God. You know, and the thing is too, like I've been running since May 1st, actually. So
Nice.
I've been running 4 days a week since May 1st. So, I mean, just because like I was saying off air, like tomorrow, my brother-in-law is getting married. I wanted to lose weight. I wanted to look good. I was like really puffy and just kind of fat and overweight. And I didn't look good. So I'm like, okay. I actually was gonna because May 1st, I remember was a Wednesday. I was gonna run that Monday, April 29th. But my daughter, my youngest daughter, was having trouble sleeping. What a shock there. So she kind of like put a put a damper on that plan for the day. But I'm like, all right, so May 1st was actually like a real good day to start running. Nice clean day.
Mm.
And it's funny too, because previous years I was so worried about pace and worried about, making sure that I would always run better and faster than the day before or whatever.
Yeah.
And that was starting to fuck with me. Now
Yeah.
like now I hit like that. Now I'm like the old man. I'm over the hill at 40. Oh fuck it, I'll just run whatever. And it's amazing too when you have that mentality switch of I just run for time. I do 30 minutes. Let me
Mm.
do a 30-minute run. And I usually do like a good 3 miles within that. Sometimes I actually do like a 5K or 3.1, depending on a lot of different things.
Yeah.
It's amazing too of like how much better you feel too after the run because I'm not killing myself like trying to outpace myself from the day
Mm.
before or like or like the week before. Like, you know what? I go out, I run my time, and I'm not getting hurt. I'm not getting injured. I feel really good beforehand. I feel good afterhand, you know.
Hmm.
But last week sucked.
Ooh.
So I probably mentioned this on like one of the other 6 or 7 or 10 shows, whatever I point of like, yeah, I run in the morning, like I run at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
So like even like today, like I'll probably, I'll go to bed in a little in like after this is done, I'm passing out and go right to sleep. But I run in the morning for a couple of reasons. One, it's the coolest out. Two, there's not a lot of like traffic besides the occasional car and wildlife in the area. And this ties into the point about 20-ish years ago, I experienced heat exhaustion,
Mhm.
where I got really sick. I was really clammy, like my skin was really, I was pale, like excessively sweating. I was very weak. And that was just from being out in the heat and working that way. So I avoid doing, like very strenuous work in the heat as much as I can, just because I don't want to experience that ever again. Because heat exhaustion is heat stroke.
Yeah.
So I don't want to cross that line. So when I run in the morning, I check two main things. I check the air temperature and the dew point.
Mm.
So air temperature, like yeah, at 5 a.m. it's relatively cool. But last week to give you a clue. So on Monday, I looked and the air temperature it was like 61 degrees out and the dew point was 59 degrees. The dew point basically is like the saturation in the air when dew forms in the grass. So it's like how wet the air is. Generally, anything under 50 degrees for the dew point is very comfortable. The 50-degree range, it starts to get like, I don't know about this. The 60-degree range, you start getting like sweats and like swamp ass.
Nice.
70 dew point 70 and up, you're fucked. You're like, that's like you're sweating like a whore in church. Like that's like
Ugh.
that's like disgusting.
Mm.
Yeah, it's gross. So I was checking the temperature on Monday, like last Monday, and it was like 61 degrees, and dew point was like in the high 50s. I'm like, okay, that's manageable, but I cut my run time from 30 minutes to 25 minutes. I'm like, okay, let's just see how it goes. Monday was fine. Wednesday at 5 a.m. the temperature was like 65 degrees, and the dew point was like 62. All right, now it's starting to be a little uncomfortable. Now it's starting to get harder to breathe. Now it's like your joints start to feel a little bit more. Like you start to feel it more air. So I'm like, okay, 25 minutes is fine. Friday, 5 a.m. It was 74 degrees in the fucking morning at 5 a.m. 74 degrees. Dew point was 69 degrees. I'm like, 20 minutes. That's it. And after that 20 minutes, I kid you not, I felt like I was going to die. I was so clammy. I had shortness of breath. I felt lightheaded. And I'm like, fuck this.
Yeah.
So I went in and I was supposed to run Saturday and I checked the same thing. And like Saturday, I'm like, fuck it, I'm not running Saturday. I'm not dying a hero. I'll just go and I'll just I'll wait. So this week's been better. But it's like it comes down to like when you're doing that kind of exercise outside, like I'm doing running, but if you're doing like weightlifting or anything else, you gotta know your body, you gotta listen to it.
Yeah.
Because when you're in a gym or wherever, you control the humidity, you control the temperature, you can control all these external things. That's fine. Mother Nature doesn't give a single fuck about like you.
Oh yeah, of course.
So like you know you gotta adapt and like make those exceptions of like what, I don't run today. Okay, that's fine. I'm not running today just because I don't want to actually get hurt or get sick. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, I mean it's like this week. Monday morning, I ran 20 minutes just because I didn't know how it was going to be. It was fine. Yesterday, I ran 25 minutes, and I'd never been so sweatier after a 25-minute run.
Mm,
I looked like I came out of the shower. That's how much I was sweating.
nice.
So, tomorrow is supposed to be really nice. So I'm looking forward to doing a nice 30-minute run tomorrow morning
That's why, yeah.
at 5 a.m.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do very light work when it comes to just straight cardio like that. I just do very light running, try to reduce like impact on my joints. But
Yeah,
it's good for you, that's for sure.
it is, but also at the same time too, like it just brutalizes you too.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Running, running, it's like a contradiction of like it's so good for you, but it just beats the fuck out of you so badly.
Hmm.
I mean, so like now, so I was talking to my one coworker at the my summer program, and she's into like health and vitamins and all this kind of shit. I was telling her what I was doing. She's like, that's like the worst thing you could do." I'm like, "But it works for me though, because I've done all this other stuff with running.
Yeah.
So like what I do, so like at this point in my at this time in my life, like it's hard to like wake up. It's hard to work out. Like running, like it was, it's been rough. So what I do, and this is like not paid, but like one of the like I actually take I take M Drive, right? So it's like testosterone supplement. It's like there's all different ones, all different snake oil ones I've taken, and I'm like they don't really do anything. This is stupid.
Mhm.
I saw it. I kept seeing it pop up on like Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and like my life. I'm like, okay, let me try it. It's probably not going to work, but let me go for it, right? And actually, for me, it works. I
Yeah.
feel better when I do it. I've actually been able to do more things with, I've been able to, I honestly, after my runs, I don't feel beat up. I don't feel trashed afterwards. Whereas like beforehand, like I would after my run, I would walk like I'm crippled. So it
Mhm.
does work. Like for me, it does. Now
Yeah.
that's I'm not saying it works for everybody or like you should do any of this bullshit, but it does work. And like since I've been taking that and running, my coworkers have like, man, you look good. You look thinner. You look trim. Like you look good. I'm like, oh, thanks.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm like,
Oh,
all
yeah.
right, so like yeah, but, it gives you some some extra confidence in that too. Um, so no, it's like oh, you're supposed to take like this thing and that thing and boil the root from this tree and mix it with like the soil from magnolia, whatever. I'm like, I don't have time for that shit.
What the fuck?
Yeah, no, it's like, but it's like we get into like some of those like homeopathic stuff or
Oh,
like
yeah, I get
like
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like yeah, like whereas like this, like you don't know what the hell is in it. It's probably like salt and dirt and like chalk and like chalk.
Yeah. I try to keep it simple,
Yeah,
just like yourself. Yeah, I would just try to keep it simple. Like I take my multivitamins and just rely. I mean, I've been very self-indulgent as of late. Like I feel puffy and
yeah,
inflamed and all this now, but yeah, I just rely on like the food. Like if I can I'm in a good rhythm and I'm eating clean, like that's what I just rely on. It's just like hard, just hard macros to refuel and recover the body. But I
yeah,
don't, yeah, I mean, at our age, right? Like I made this realization, I'm like, all right, I'm definitely past my prime now. And I just work out for my mental health and just to stay active and just
right. You
try
gotta
to like, sustain whatever strength I have. Because like having moved out of the apartments and not having that access to the gym, uh, like I had to make some drastic changes with my morning routine because now I'm not like the calorie intake it's more or less the same, but I'm not doing the same kind of workout routines to like burn all that off. Like I'm only burning like a few hundred calories a morning where I'm used to doing like 5 or 600 calories was like the minimum at the time. But again, this was like a couple of years ago, so it's just like, all right, now like I'm at this age and like I just do this to maintain whatever or sustain whatever I had from when I was training more
yeah.
intensely.
I mean, well, that's the thing too. Like, yeah, like whatever. Like I was saying, like on the one we did a few months ago. Like once you hit like 40, you're like, okay, I gotta start like being an adult now, and
Yeah. I
you
mean,
know,
even before then for me personally, just because I'm pre-diabetic, so I had to like really,
like the
you
watch
know,
that. Yeah. So, but even
yeah.
like myself, I'm like like just like yo-yoing like up and down weight, and I just got to a point where like I got tired of looking in the mirror and going, who is this fucking like doughboy? Like
Yeah, I feel that.
puffy and shit and like looking, like just looking bad. So I just made that conscious choice to just, to run, and I've also been doing I gotta start incorporating more like weightlifting. So what I've been doing like some like planks and push-ups before and after I run, just
Okay.
so like
Nice.
gets going a little bit. So but yeah, people. It's funny too is like this week at work because like it was nice today, but like the previous 2 days it's been like really hot. And being in an art room with no air conditioning, I'm like, well, I'm just wearing a tank top, and people are like, "God damn it, Mockoviak, what are you doing over here? You get on the juice?" I'm like, "Sure, yes." Because also I don't wear tank tops out in person, so people
Yeah.
aren't like used to that. So like so people I work with like man like you're a little bit more jacked than I thought you were. I'm like Thanks.
Hey
You know,
man, this is all good
no,
feedback
it's good.
because
Oh
now
yeah,
you're
it's all good. I'm just saying,
yeah.
you know, it's like also too. I mean, it's mainly just like the heat, the humidity. I got
Oh
tired of
yeah.
wearing a t-shirt, like my undershirt and t-shirt, and just like just like sweating through everything, you know, and just like I said, like being in a room and like doing ceramic projects with with wedging clay and whatever. I'm like, I can't be wearing like two shirts all the time and
Oh
just
yeah, right.
let me buy some tank tops and wear them and yeah, I begin a lot of compliments. So
Nice.
yeah, it does. It does. It feels good because like when you battle for as long as you like I have with like like being in shape and just staying on top of your health. It's nice to hear like, oh, like yeah, you don't look like as bloated, or you don't look as puffy, or like, oh, like you look pretty good, or like you look good. It's like
Yeah,
yeah,
the hard work is paying off,
yeah,
and you're hearing it. You're here, like I said, yeah, it's positive feedback from everybody because now they're seeing the results.
yeah.
Oh
You know,
yeah,
it's
man.
only the beginning too. So I mean,
Yeah,
like
be
I would
proud.
I would like to you know to put on a little bit of muscle mass, but again,
Yeah.
like I'm not exact. Like I said, I'm not like
Well, you know what you can do is yeah, on like days where you can't run, but you have like, you have the time and the energy to do something, like just do push-ups instead. Like you can still get your heart rate in the cardio zone. Just
yeah.
like do as many as you like do, to failure and then rest for maybe like a minute or so and then just do like another set of, I don't know, 10 or 20 if you can. Like,
No, I was doing that. So
oh
that's
yeah. Or like or well, yeah, so like if you want to avoid the legs and let your legs recover, then yeah, and just like do yeah, just stuff like that. Like if you want to just stick with body weights and
yeah.
like I mean, you could always do like the hardest type of push-ups and then if you want to just keep putting reps in, just do like just keep digressing the form. So do knee push-ups and then maybe do wall push-ups. So then like you're still getting the pump, you're still contracting your
Yeah.
triceps and your chest, but there's less, weight load on your joints, but you know, yeah, I mean there's like a lot of like ways to kind of improvise and still get a good healthy pump
That's
and,
why
and
I
get a
turned to you,
cardio in.
the expert. Like, oh, geez, you don't know all this health shit.
No,
Like, yeah, I need to get swole. Like, I need to.
no, no.
I'm like, what's up, brother? I need to get,
Well, no,
jacked.
because like honestly, I'm thinking of way I think of ways like how can I get my just get my heart rate in like
Yeah.
in that high fat or cardio zone, but not doing like just straight like because running like it hurts my joint like I really have like developed like this arthritic kind of like I have arthritis in some areas, so like running is kind of like a like I just do like that's why I said earlier I just do really light running to just so I can save my joints and I just
Elliptical,
rely on body. What's that?
ellipticals are really good for that.
Yeah, I mean,
But
so
you have to you have to find one. That's the problem, though. Yeah.
yeah, we were even looking into like these like I don't know the proper name, but they're like a treadmill, but it's flat and they're short, so they don't take up a lot of room, and it's just
One,
like you just get your step. I don't know what the name of the
oh,
brand.
like a stepper.
Not a stepper. It's just like it's like a treadmill, so it's got like the treading thing, and you
Uh,
just walk on it. But it's not like a whole
oh,
traditional treadmill set. It's just like just a platform. It's probably like maybe 3 feet long, 2.5 feet wide, and you just walk on it.
all right. I mean,
And
yeah, you do. I mean, at this point,
or like you can jog on it, I imagine. Like, but like we're just, because we only have so much room in the basement in our workout area. But like I would love to have even something as simple as that, or like a bike, like just something to really, get the heart rate going. But I do like the soft ground running in the backyard, like for now, it like kind of, so I mean, I do rounds in the basement actually. If I'm like really trying to avoid like, breaking a hard sweat or whatever, I'll just get my heart rate in the fat burning zone by doing laps down here. So there's like levels, but
Yeah,
without putting so much effort into it. Um, but yeah, I just like that's my mentality is just like, all right, how can I still trigger them, yeah, try to keep like the muscle mass or tone, uh, what do you call it? Like kind of like high interval
yeah. Like you
training.
want to be like in the fat burning zone for the most part.
Pretty much. Yeah. And like I just have like we have light dumbbells. So again, going back to what I was saying, like the drastic change of like how like the intensity of the workouts and the type of routines too. Like now it's just like mobility, functional stuff.
Right.
I'm not doing, yeah, so um which is like very humbling because like I was doing push-up, like I started like incorporating push-ups after doing like months of just like dumbbell presses, and like again, like I started having issues with like my carpal tunnel and stuff, so I started avoiding, like I was doing 15 pounds, so after doing that for a few like months and then started doing standard push-ups, I was like, oh my God.
It'll
I was
humble your
like,
ass real quick. Yeah.
my arm, I was like, damn, this is like, I was like, okay. So, you know, there are like moments throughout the day where I'll just do like a random 20 just to, I don't know, just to keep those keep those muscles there.
Yeah. Oh, believe me, like at 22, because like when I was a teenager, I would do 100 push-ups every day before I would go to school,
Yeah,
bang them out. Now it's like,
I
what?
know. Well, they say like you have good cardiovascular if you can do was it 35 or 40 push-ups in
Like
one set,
what
something
I'll so like what I'll do for my routine is
like that. Getting to the whole workout conversation.
I was saying to my coworker, she's like, "You're doing this all wrong," because like what you're doing is wrong. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. It works for me. So like
It's important. It's like you gotta, yeah, yeah, I mean,
I'm like, look, I've been doing this. I've been running on and off for the last 20 years. And I've tried every different combination of different things. Like I used to stretch for 15 minutes beforehand and do all these things, and like now I just like pretty much go out and run. And I've noticed very little difference. Actually, I'm getting faster now without doing all the stretching beforehand. But yeah, again, it's just for me. But I'm like, yeah. So like, what I'll do is I wake up at like 4:15 in the morning, and what I'll do is I have my Celsius. She's like, "Oh, don't have the energy drink." I'm like, "Yeah, I know." But like, look, I'm doing like
I
30
drink
minute run.
Celsius in the morning.
What?
It's like I drink Celsius and
Yeah. I'm like,
Celsius in
look.
the
She's
morning.
like, "Well, because dehydrates you because of the caffeine." I'm like, okay. It's like, but the thing is, like, so because also Celsius has like the like other nutrients and whatever bullshit they sell
Yeah.
you on, right? So it's not. I'm not drinking fucking Red Bull in the morning. Like, good
Right.
God, what the hell? So it's the cell. So I do like the M Drive and the Celsius. Now with the M Drive, you're supposed to have a little bit of food because it does make you a little queasy, which I learned the hard way.
Mhm.
So I'll do like I have like a keto peanut butter cup.
Okay.
So that and I purposely do that at least 30 minutes before I run, so like my stomach can settle. So while and I'm not like guzzling the Celsius. I just sip it on and off for like 30 minutes, bathroom, whatever, puzzles, whatever, just so like I'm occupied. Then before I go out, do 20 push-ups in the house. Go outside before I run. I assess the weather and the air. I'm like, okay, when am I running today? Okay, 30 minutes it is. 20 push-ups. Do my run. Come back before I change. 20 push-ups in the house. I do coconut water, my electrolytes. So I also have coconut water and pineapple juice because it's the one that's available right now. I do that, and I have a protein shake or drink that I do. post, kind of like to build everything up back up. I used to do like the protein and the electrolytes before I ran, but I always felt too heavy. I got sick. This has been working for me. I'm not saying this works for everybody. It's like that's my routine though. And when it comes to running, people who run, who want to get into running, I always say like start low, start slow. Low miles, slow pace. Don't be a hero. Don't kill yourself. Start with, slow pace, whether you gotta like jog the whole time, run and walk, whatever you gotta do, low miles. Do that. Do that for 2 weeks. Then you can kind of increase everything a little bit. And then you figure out in the morning or the evening, whatever you run, if you do your protein before, your protein after, or whatever, you figure out what works best for you. Because what works best for you doesn't work for me. What works for me doesn't work for you. So I experimented with all different combinations, like doing the electrolytes beforehand and the protein beforehand and afterwards. Right now, this is what works for me. So again, I'm not saying if you do all this, what I do, it's going to work for you. It's what works for me. And when I do it afterwards, I feel much better. I'm not snacking on shit. I'm not like craving food. I feel good. Because beforehand, like my knee would always give me problems because I had bone spurs. I could probably run without my running sleeve, but I put it on just because it's habit. I tell you now, outside of the humidity, my joints don't hurt, my legs don't hurt, my back doesn't hurt. So you just kind of figure out what works for you. That's all I have to say about that. That's my routine. So
there you have it, folks.
there's Mockoviak success
Regimen.
right there. Do everything wrong and inappropriate, and you'll be fine.
It's funny. I was saying this to my old classmate from college because he kind of got the health bug too. And I asked him, I was like, someone got the health bug, huh? He's like, yep. And I was like, that's great, man. It's awesome. But it's contagious. It's funny. It's like yeah, just when you get a kick of it out of it, it's like, um, I don't know. You see like how people light up differently now when they find themselves in a healthier, you know, uh, position in their life because
Yeah.
just when you're healthier, you perform better. That's just really how it is. Like to like really put it plain and simple. But
But the expression of like wealth follows health.
yeah, yeah,
Keep yourself healthy, not like physically, but also like mentally,
yeah.
emotionally, spiritually. But all that kind of it ties in together too. Where if you're just eating fucking McDonald's every day and you're just watching Pornhub all the time, and like you're not doing anything to improve yourself, that has an impact on you. Versus like, believe me, I don't like waking up at fucking 4 o'clock in the morning to run. I
Mhm.
don't like it. I hate it actually. But I'm also now my body's so used to it.
Yeah.
Even like on a day I don't have to run, I'm waking up at that time. I'm like, all right, here we no, we're going back to bed for another hour. All right, do that
Oh
now.
yeah, I
am. We can do that. So, but it gets you into that. It's discipline.
yeah.
And that goes into God. Didn't we mention
We
like
talk about discipline a lot.
oh God, Jesus Christ! I mean, every time we talk about it, like,
Discipline with art and then discipline with like health. That's been like the
this is an art
ongoing.
podcast. I'm talking like 40 minutes without talking anything about art, but fuck it, who cares?
It's fine.
That's fine, whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm on. We just talking bullshit anyway. But but yeah, it's like, but that's what it is though. Like it's
Yeah.
routine and discipline, and that goes into anything. Well, it doesn't matter if it's art or if it's health or it's writing or you want to work on your master's degree or whatever you pursue. Like you have to be disciplined.
Yeah.
And once you start establishing that routine and habit in one area, and then it kind of spills into other areas too, because now like you start to lock yourself into like, okay, I have this time blocked out for here. I can block out 30 minutes for writing, or I can block out an hour for painting, or I can block out an hour for cooking, or doing my thesis or research or whatever.
Mhm.
But it's important to have that though, because otherwise, like we're all just kind of blowing away in the wind, doing whatever and not having any real direction. Which, like for me personally, that's what I've been feeling for the last fill in the blank here of like,
Yeah.
I've had, especially when it comes to going like to art, where it's like, yeah, I have all these projects that I'm working on. So I know like the picture book, I was telling you in a text before, like weeks or months.
Mm.
It might have been like a day ago, but to me it's been like 3 months. I I started to work. I started to do the pages. I did a spread. I painted it. I looked at it and said, I hate it. I tore it up, threw it out, started over again. And it's frustrating because like like I'm such a perfectionist to a degree, where I want this to look good because it has my name on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like like to me that it's important. Like I don't want to put out just random bullshit that doesn't have that looks half ass and it's going to be seen by different people. I don't want potential clients or publishers or even consumers to be like, this looks kind of half ass. I don't want that. But I also have to realize, and I was telling you, like I'm letting my coworker down in my mind because I've been stalling on this project for so long because trying to find out the style that works for me, the aesthetic that works best for the book. And also, I got two kids that don't want to fucking sleep at night. Love you guys, but sleep, please. But that's what it comes down to. It's like by the time like my daughters are asleep, it's like recently it's rolling the dice of like it might be like 8:30 where like they're both finally asleep. And by the time then I get to like my like studio here, I'm like, you know what? I'm just so fucking brain dead from working and being a dad. I don't want to sit and fucking draw and paint. That's a horrible mentality to have, mind you. But it's like, you know what? I don't want to do this shit just half ass and just have it be like passable. Like I don't want that attached to my work, to my name. So I've just been like kicking a can out of like, all right, let me just put in tomorrow, and then tomorrow becomes the next day, and it becomes next week, then it becomes next month. It's like, all
Yeah.
right. So
Nip it in the butt.
yeah, like just
Not
kind of like
distraction.
take care of it, like, and it's not like haven't done anything for it. It's the pages are all laid out, everything's done.
Mm.
I just have to actually do the actual like final touches.
Yeah.
But that to me was like that's where like I'm like being too particular about things. I should let more things go of like, okay, this works. Let's just get it done and kind of fix it and like, fix it in post. Like, let me just get it done and I'll take care of like the final touches later on. But like my perfectionist, if it was like, no, don't do that. It's got to look this way. It's like, yeah, it's that battle.
Mm.
A lot of times, like I've been telling, like I'm losing that battle. So
I resonate.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, because there's a piece like I have like started last year. No, maybe last year or the year before. Oh, I've lost track of time. But it's another piece for the Tech Utopia series, and ideally, I was like thinking about having it part of the exhibit coming up, but I was like, maybe I'll just show the stuff I have ready now, and then who knows? I mean, I'll then just keep putting out more new stuff for it. But um, but yeah, with that piece in particular, it's like same thing. Like I have the rough draft laid out, but it's just a matter of putting in just start fine tuning it with the details. And throwing the color on it, and the shebang. But yeah, like I've been like very hesitant, avoidant of it, really. Not hesitant, just avoidant of it.
Oh
Now
yeah,
I'm kind of feeling sort of inspired to go back to it because of like stuff I'm seeing online. I'm like, oh, this is actually kind of perfect timing to go back to it. So
yeah. I mean, well, even like so. It's here.
is this your book of ideas?
No, this is so. So this is my. This is. I have like too many book of ideas to be honest with you. So this is a. I think I might have showed this last time, but this is like a marker sketch book, but it's 6 by 12.
Mm.
And I've had this book actually since 2014, and I know that because the first drawing in here is this Frankenstein's monster, August 30th, 2014, right? So I'm like, oh, this is pretty like like a half face series. I don't know what inspired me to do that, but I think it was just like the format of the paper. I'm like, well, it's like it's thin, so let me just do half a face, you know. And it kind of carried on, and then like it was on and off for years of like, all right, I don't know what to do with it. So then it's funny too because I posted this like the man thing here, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I penciled this in 2022. Okay. I inked this in 2023 and I colored it this year in 2024. So it's just like this has been sitting around for fucking 2 years.
Yeah.
I think it was actually, I think it was actually almost 2 years, like from pencil to completion
Oh
of
wow.
like I drew it, it sat in the book, then I inked it, but it's also, but then it's like there's like a couple like so like I'm doing like a bunch of Godzilla stuff. So here's like Space Godzilla. Now this is quick. I did this earlier this year. Like this is actually 2024, like pencils and inks. Not
Okay.
like I did this like 10 years ago, which would be par for the course. So it's like so here's like Space Godzilla, Mega Godzilla, which I have to actually ink. It's like kind of been challenging. King Caesar, Big
Okay, nice.
Godzilla, and then Bing Fang Foom, which is a Marvel character. But these were all drawn this year and in ink this year. And it's not for anything in particular, but it's just like this. It gets me to like it's like the quick, easy win. To like I've explained this before. Like when you're doing art, like you're doing a harder project that's more challenging or it's above your capacity, your skill set, you don't feel confident. You do like the quick win of like, all right, let me just bang out something that I know I can do really well. That's what this series has been. Although it's, I've kind of taken it to like another level of like, yeah, let me ink it and let me do these different inks and let me color it, but let me color it a different ways instead of just like being straight up about it. Let me actually try to elevate the piece of what I'm doing. So, but even like stuff like that, like it'll kind of sit there on my drawing board for like days, or I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna ink it today. But
Hmm.
then I go down like the conspiracy YouTube, rabbit hole. I'm like, okay, I'll get to it
Hmm.
tomorrow. And tomorrow comes and it's like, oh yeah, hey, oh, it's my conspiracy, theory. Oh, my daughter's not sleeping today. All right, I'll get to it, whatever. So, and there's like, I mean, Jesus, there's probably no lie, like 30 things that are on the docket of like, I'll get to it eventually.
Oh gosh, don't even get me started.
But I mean, like, but it's like the artist in us though, like like we have, it's like the idea graveyard. Like we have so many ideas of like so many things of like, or like you see something you're like, oh yeah, I want to do that thing, and then like you buy all the stuff for that thing, you never do that thing, or you do that thing like 5 years later. Yeah, you know,
Yeah, pretty
yeah,
much. And I get more ideas for like fan art and like fan fiction. Like they come quicker.
yeah.
So, but that's because I'm like in a like a very nostalgic phase right now. So I'm like always thinking of like, oh, that'd be cool to see this, I don't know, fucking um Toxic Crusader or something, like pull like a real throwback and yeah, I don't know, do something with that.
So let me answer this question. Because this has been popping up. So I'm what they call like what Twitter or X, whatever the app's called, right? Hell is the term. Not stalker, but I'm like, I don't post on a lot of social media.
You're like a ghost user or something.
Yeah, I guess, yeah,
Okay.
call it that, right? But I'm like, I'll post some things once in a while.
Yeah.
I was very active until I spawned off, offspring take time. So, um, but I'm off, but I'll scroll through. What's your feeling on like a lot of like fandoms? Do you feel like a lot of people are taking fandoms more personally these days, where they're being more possessive about it? So let me just give you some examples because this once I start talking about it, you might be able to process this a bit more. So, you know, I'm a I you know, I'm a big professional wrestling fan. And I grew up watching WWF, WCW, ECW. When AWA was running reruns on ESPN, I'd watch it. I was buying the bootleg tapes from Suncoast Video in the mall. Shout out to Suncoast, please come back. We miss you very much. God bless. Um, you know, I was just a fan of professional wrestling. WWF being a Northeast fan in the early '90s, that was prevalent. But I was watching WCW Saturday night on at 6:05 p.m. on Saturday night.
Mhm.
Like to me, wrestling was wrestling. It didn't
Yeah.
matter what promotion it was. I preferred WWF, but ironically, my favorite wrestlers were from WCW, like Stunning Steve Austin, Cactus Jack, Big Van Vader, which all
Okay, interesting.
WWF anyway.
Yeah.
But I was just a fan of professional wrestling. I was consuming whatever I can get my hands on.
Mm.
Even like when I was watching and buying from the Suncoast, it was like the old Memphis wrestling, tapes and whatever. I love professional wrestling. I love watching it, the characters, whatever. Once when WCW went out of business in 2001 with ECW, and it was just WWF, now WWE for the predominantly for the next 15 years without real competition.
Mm.
People were like, yeah, like there's like TNA or Impact Wrestling here, New Japan Pro Wrestling, which has been around forever, and some independent promotions. But like here in the U.S., it was WWE. And in 2019, all Elite Wrestling or AEW came on the scene, and it was like this alternate to WWE. It was backed by a billionaire who was a big wrestling fan. Tony Khan, his father Shad Khan. Also, they own the Jacksonville Jaguars, and they own a soccer league in Europe. And I don't remember which one, but basically it was like it was an alternate. It's like, oh, this is great. It's gonna be competition. It's gonna be great, for wrestling fans or whatever. But what I found is that wrestling fans are fucking dorks. They're geeks. They're nerds. They're losers. I'm like, holy shit! Like when we were watching, like you were watching wrestling during the Monday Night Wars, like with Raw and Nitro, with the NWO and
Yeah.
DX, Steve Austin and Goldberg, as like pretty much everyone else was, right?
Hmm.
You were watching it, but you weren't like, oh my god, like Raw got a 4.7 rating and Nitro got a 3.2. Give a
Like pulling
shit.
stats out.
Yeah, like no one really fucking cared. But I mean, yeah,
Uh,
people watched it, like we get the ratings, but it wasn't like it didn't affect how we watch the product. Because a lot of us, we're going back and forth between like, oh, what's on Raw? What's on Nitro? What's on Raw? What's on Nitro? Holy
Yeah.
shit! What's on Thunder? What's on SmackDown? Like we were going back and forth between all that. We would also
Yeah.
we would also like call out like that's fucking stupid on Raw. That's fucking stupid on Nitro. What the fuck are they doing here on SmackDown? What are they doing here on Thunder? Like we were very critical of the product, but we enjoyed it.
Mhm.
Now, with the internet culture and with how pro wrestling has evolved, it's like there's this. It's beyond gatekeeping. You know, where it's like it's the word. I don't like the word thrown around, but it's the best word. Like the tribalism.
Yeah.
Fucking hate that. Where
Yeah.
it's like you're either team this or you're team that, and you can and neither of the twain should ever meet.
Yeah.
You know, it's fucking annoying.
It is.
You know, and
Yeah.
I see it a lot because like cause most of the people that I follow, it's like they recommend it's all like the different wrestling accounts. So I see like the more like the AEW fans and the WWE fans, and they're calling and doing the same insults. I'm like first of all, you guys have never had the the enjoyment of like physical interaction with another human being. I'll just leave it at that. Okay. Like,
Oh boy.
yeah, like, and your hand doesn't count for that. So I'm saying, like, you got it. Okay. So there's that. People are getting, you're getting upset over like scripted, fictionalized shows where you have men and women in their underwear fake fighting. It's not that fucking important, friends.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, and it's happening, and it's all over the place. You know, like in the Godzilla fandom, like we had -1 come out in November. My personal opinion, the best Godzilla movie ever made. Hands
Yeah.
down. Fucking, it's the best one.
Yeah. We just watched it recently on Netflix.
Netflix. I saw it in the theater.
Yeah,
My
same.
mom and I were watching it earlier today on Netflix, and it's damn, it's fucking good. I can't
Yeah.
wait. I didn't see -1 minus color in the theater. It's
Uh
coming to
I
Netflix.
wanted
And
to I wanted to see in black and white as well. I missed out on that.
I've heard, I've heard so many good things about minus color because they didn't just like put a filter on. Like, they actually like recolored every single scene,
Oh
and
wow.
apparently it's like it enhances a lot of the effects. So like okay, like okay,
Maybe. Yeah.
but I also saw Godzilla and Kong, the new Empire in the theater. I love both of them. They're both good examples of Godzilla fandoms. You know, it's like people, the American fans, have this mentality that like the Monsterverse, the Legendary Pictures, they're
Mm.
too goofy. It's like motherfucker, have you watched the whole movies in the 60s and 70s where fucking Godzilla's flying on his fucking tail, fighting Ghidorah on a fucking planet and doing like a dance in the mid 60s? You're talking 10 years removed from Gojira in 1954. He's dancing a fucking jig on Planet X like 10 years later. Get the fuck out of here. He's fighting a smog monster and like flying with his tail. He's doing a drop kick on a fucking beetle, you know, in Megalon. Like, hell, it's like the gatekeeping bothers me so much where it's like we can't enjoy things anymore.
Yeah.
Like there are things I don't enjoy. Like, for example, the Ang Hulk, I don't like. I hate that movie. Now, if I watch it now, it might be different, but I didn't enjoy it when I watched it 20 years ago.
Mm.
But also, like the gatekeeping shit and like the you know like it's like oh, this is my toy, you can't have it, you can't share. Like what the hell's wrong with you? Wouldn't
Mm.
you want to share with people like the like how awesome your fandom is? Like and again, like there's bad actors in each fandom too. Don't get me wrong. Like there is like there's assholes everywhere.
Mm.
It boggles my mind of like how people. It's not even just gatekeeping. It's almost like possession of a fandom where like they feel like they own it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but like what I'm
Yeah.
talking about is like it's not even just like you enjoy it. It's like you created it, and it's like your vision of the fandom. That's what you hold on to. But it's like, but you didn't do shit for it. Like you didn't do anything. Like
Hmm.
you watched it and consumed it, enjoyed it, and bought the toys and the comic books or whatever. Like you didn't create it, you didn't draw it, you didn't film it, you didn't sculpt it, you didn't do anything. Like you just.
Sounds like you're talking about the sports fans when they say like
But
when they
it's the same thing though, right? Right?
yeah, when they say
Yeah,
we.
yeah. My team. You didn't play on a fucking team. You wore a jersey on the field. No, you didn't. Fucking fucking sat on your ass, drinking beer and watching and eating nachos. While like you don't do shit. Like your team, you're Godzilla. You're no. It's not, you
Yeah,
didn't
right.
do shit for it. You're
Oh, that's so funny.
that shit bothers me. Like my team. Now you're fucking no.
Yeah,
I didn't
I
know.
get that.
I didn't know like Fat Ass McGee played for the fucking Giants. I'm sorry. I didn't
Yeah.
realize
I asked my buddy about that on the podcast too, and he was just like, "Man, like that question's fucking that's annoying, bro." I'm like, well, what's the answer to that? Because like I never understood it myself,
yeah, but
and
it's like it's not you, but it's not. You know what I'm saying? It's not your team. Like you don't play for that. You don't like.
yeah, it's just weird.
It's like
Yeah, like I get it, but then
I understand it, but I
yeah,
don't understand it at the same time.
yeah, pretty much, and it's a funny observation now because when you lay it out logically, it's like, well, yeah. Like why would you just assume that I mean, yeah, it's everything you just said. Like you buy the jerseys, you represent the team and because it's your town, whatever. But like you didn't do shit in the game.
Yeah, you weren't coaching there. You weren't even a bench warmer.
Yeah.
Sit down and shut
You
up.
didn't pass some water,
Yeah,
nothing, or a
you
towel.
were even holding someone's dick when they were pissing. Come on now, like get the fuck out of here with this bullshit. Come on.
No.
But it's like that kind of like it's like a form of dementia to a degree, especially with like the fandoms.
I'm trying to think of like what other examples because
Star
like
Wars is like really bad right now.
okay, I mean, so are you
I don't
like
follow.
are you
I follow.
regarding like the media like entertainment journalists like on YouTube like the like
I
them or just like
just in general. I mean, like
okay,
YouTube. That's a whole other
it
cesspool.
is, but I'm just trying to get
Twitter,
a
Twitter
more
is different.
understanding because yeah, I only see it in that through that scope. Like when because I see a lot of these like YouTubers doing content on about Disney, right? Like this is what I'm seeing because of my algorithm now. But like I see like updates on Disney and Star Wars and all this shit.
Grift on Star Wars. Yeah.
And yeah, but the thing that you're talking about, like with the fans in general, like I mean, I guess I see it like with like MMA when it comes to UFC, maybe. Yeah, yeah, it's just like yeah, everyone is like is that way with like a lot of things. So many things.
Right. It's like you
Yeah.
can be critical. Like I'm not saying you can't be critical or you can't be uh, happy to enjoy what you enjoy. I'm not saying that at all.
Right.
But when it gets to a point where you can't like if you told me Godzilla's stupid, like okay, I've heard that for the last 35 years. I mean, okay, what don't you like about it? It's a goofy,
Right.
like the pseudomation, like the bad dubbing, like the poor, like the mostly poor storylines and all that. Like there's legitimate criticisms that you can levy as a fan of, like, well, or even like, yeah, pro wrestling is fucking goofy as hell by its nature, right? But when you start getting either overly critical of like one aspect, like or like one product, but you ignore the same thing for another product. It's like, no, like you can't give a pass to one thing but not to the other when they're doing the exact same thing. They're working in the
Right.
same scope. It's but yeah, it's just like this, like the mental behavior of people of where I'm like, I'm going and I'm like, I'm so thankful. I'm like, I don't engage anymore with the kind of bullshit where I'm not like going and like, you know what? I don't have time to sit on Twitter or Facebook and
Oh, right. Yeah.
engage with people. So I'm like, I actually have a life. I have a job.
Yeah.
I
I get.
play, I have hobbies. You know,
Yeah.
like
I it's funny because like again I'm going back to like YouTubers and like I just call them media or entertainment journalists like that cover all these like new shows and new movies and go over their stats and all then all that shit. Um but yeah, I really I don't really follow
yeah,
that much that many shows like movies like like I'm very particular about the stuff like invest my time into now.
right, yeah, because time is money.
Yeah,
Time, money and time is precious. So it's like there's also, I mean, now with streaming, there's too many options. I mean, even
there
like
is. Yeah,
or like with cable, you would have like like 200 channels or whatever.
right.
But even with 200 channels, you can only watch one thing at this time, and then you have to wait until that thing, that movie, that series, that show is over to watch the next thing. Whereas
Yeah,
now you go on Netflix or Hulu or Disney Plus or Pornhub or whatever the fuck you watch, and there's a plethora of options. You go, well, what am I watching first? When am I watching second? When am I watching? Like you could just kind of pick and choose what you want to at this point, and it's
yeah,
fine. So now, like with like the YouTube people, some I do feel are like the actual grifters, where they're just kind of like they're just going with like whatever it's gonna make the most money. So if something is like with Disney Star Wars, for example, what's the new show? The Acolyte.
yeah.
Apparently, it's not doing well. Now,
What are you talking
like
about? It's a great time to be a Star Wars fan.
I've heard now, I respect Star Wars. I'm not a fan of Star Wars, but I respect like what George Lucas created, the
Yeah,
universe. I'm pretty versed in like the original trilogy of like 4, 5, and 6. You know, I didn't call it New Hope. I called it Star Wars. That's what it was to me when I was young. It was Star Wars, and then Return of the like Empire and Jedi.
Strikes Back.
That's what it was. Like that's what it was. So, but now with all the streaming and there's all the different shows and movies and this and that, like, and that's like with Marvel. Like Marvel, like fell off. Like I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard boo about Marvel for like half a year, which
Yeah,
is fantastic because I felt this is what they needed after Endgame. Like they
yeah,
needed like a good like 3 years to just kind of chill, disappear, and relax. But then COVID hit, and they're like, "Oh shit, Disney Plus content, content, content."
yeah.
So, but um,
I'll say their X-Men '97 was really good.
I've heard so. I haven't watched it. What a shot! I haven't watched it. I heard a lot of good things about it. Now
Yeah,
I'm stupid. Why is it X Men '97? The show came out in 1992, I believe, right?
I guess like
Why is it
I think
97?
I
Why?
think it like that's the year it's taken place, I believe.
Oh, didn't it end in '97? I don't know because I'm like I
I don't
remember
know.
as a kid. So I'm like 1997. I'm 13. I'm not watching Fox cartoons at when I'm 13 years old. But I remember watching the X Men on Fox at like 10:30 in the morning with like Life of Louie.
Yeah.
So I remember like when I was a kid, I was like 9, 10 years old. So I'm like, that was 1992, 1993 for me.
Mhm.
So, but I was just confused. Like, why is it called X-Men 97? Which is not just for the show, but like that whole kind of aesthetic. It's not X-Men 97. I'm like, well, why is it 90? I don't know. Like, I'm too dumb to understand. Someone like
It's
more nerdier than me,
it's
like sit down and explain to me, like, okay, Nick, so put on your helmet and we're going to talk about this now.
it's pretty good. Like the animations
I've heard, yeah,
better, like the sequences are a lot better, more action and
I would
entertaining.
hope
Like
so. If you're talking 30 years,
it's
animation
certainly an upgrade, and it's like you can tell a fan like worked on it, and
is the
like it's definitely what's that?
theme song, the opening theme song.
Same. So it's a it's just like more updated. Like it's like
Uh,
they didn't use the same. It's the same theme, but like it's just more updated. Um,
okay.
even like the intro is like almost the same, but they just updated certain sequences because of the character lineup. You know, but yeah, there's a lot of cool moments though, like displaying
Rogue,
the
Rogue's ass
powers
still
and
a good part of that show.
what's that?
Rogue's ass, Rogue with that ass with like a bubble.
Oh yeah, but that only lasted for like a hot second. That was like
Yeah, but no,
just a
oh,
break.
come on. You know how many? Do you know how many? You know how many of us pause that scene?
I know, yeah.
Come on. I mean, so you
And
know,
then she gets up and flies away, and it's like she loses her booty.
yeah,
But I mean, I'm not saying it
just
wasn't
Rogue's
there.
ass just for the
I,
backside. I mean, look, I'll at some point I do plan on watching it. I've heard so many good things about it.
yeah, I
So
think when you see it, you won't be as disappointed. Maybe it won't live up to the hype that but I just think it was like pretty well done, and like it was geared for us, like the fans that watched the original series. Like it was definitely geared for us. It's more mature. I'll say that. Like, uh, it's graphic. Like there's blood in it. Like that was something I had to get used to seeing all this
I
blood
mean,
in
you know what
X-Men.
though? Like I remember watching the Spawn cartoon on HBO back in the day.
Oh yeah, and they had blood and stuff. But
Oh,
like I
yeah,
mean for
blood.
X-Men though, for
I mean,
X-Men it's
geez. Yeah, I
yeah.
mean, yeah, for X-Men, yeah, he might be a little
It's
difficult.
just like, oh shit, okay, like
Yeah.
it's for real. No, yeah, I think you'll definitely be entertained by it. Like I've gone on like tangents on the podcast talking about it as I was watching the series, which like I like that they were releasing them weekly. Like they didn't just throw the whole season at you.
Yeah,
Like
that's
I like having to wait. Um,
old school
oh like
TV.
yeah, but they just made everything better. Like even like the music felt more sort of cinematic. Like it really set the tone of like each episode, and so I don't know. I think it was like definitely an upgrade from what we had
All right,
back
so
in
I'll
the day.
definitely check it out. That's definitely on the list of like the many things I
Yeah.
have to watch
There,
at some point.
there's there's redeeming parts for some characters, like redeeming scenes, and it's like, oh, that's awesome.
I
You
mean,
know, like
Jesus,
Cyclops gets like they made Cyclops pretty badass, like legit this time.
good.
So, that yeah. But other than that, yeah, Marvel, like I stopped following. Like I don't fucking I
But
just thought I watched Guardians 3 and that was like the last movie, and then there had to been like the last Marvel thing that
I
we
haven't heard anything like any Marvel like TV show or
just because
movie.
the Marvels did so bad, and there was just yeah, just it's just oh, I mean, well, everything whatever they put out regarding Marvel, it's never good. Like they are having more issues with Blade. I think they lost the director.
Oh my
their
God.
second
I've
the
heard so
second
many
time.
things about Blade, like going through like 4 or 5 writers, directors, or whatever.
Yeah, and
Like Blade needs to, like Blade
and
needs to fit on like the outskirts of the MCU where you can have like Deadpool. It needs to have like that kind of leeway to be violent for
yeah,
violence, because really, if you go back to the whole comic book renaissance, like movie renaissance, Blade is patient zero.
yeah,
Like Blade, people didn't know that was a comic book property.
yeah.
It's like it's a Wesley Snipes, black vampire hunt movie. It's like, oh, okay, this is cool. Wesley Snipes is
Just another action vampire
action
film.
vampire, and it's Wesley Snipes. He's cool, he's
Mhm.
badass. Like, no, it's a comic book. And then that was '98, and then X-Men was 2000, and that was like the kind of like it was the preamble to
Yeah,
like the comic book movie renaissance. Because really, to me, when Spider-Man came out in 2002, that was like, okay, now like game on.
mm,
But you didn't have Spider-Man without the X-Men. You didn't have the X-Men without Blade.
right.
So it's like get Blade right. Like Wesley Snipes, he ain't doing anything. He owes like millions of dollars in taxes. Get him back in there. Something, But I mean, yeah, I mean it's good that like with Marvel, they need that break. I think people were just tired of it, to be honest with you. Because again, you're talking like in that 2008 to 2019 where yeah, they put out 3 or 4 movies a year, but every movie felt like an event.
Yeah,
Spaced out and it was well planned. And then like the pandemic hit and Disney Plus came about and they had to do all this bullshit of like stupid shows that should have been movies, but they weren't movies. So they stretched out the TV shows, and you're like, okay, but then they were like Disneyfied and they weren't really had the potential. Like Moon Knight, the comic was like at least a revamp was like violent as hell.
yeah. That's what I remember hearing
Like
about
the
it.
show was like,
Mhm.
you know, but even like I watched WandaVision. That was cool.
That was interesting.
That was
Yeah.
cool. I'm like, all right, but then I'm like, oh, this really is a prequel to like Doctor Strange. And then Doctor Strange 2 wasn't a sequel to Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange 2 like, was a sequel to WandaVision. So my mom was like, we were watching in the theater. Mom was like, what the hell's going on? I'm like, you got to watch WandaVision. She's like, what the hell's WandaVision? I'm like, well, it's on.
Yeah, it feels like homework at this
Yeah.
point.
So that's what I think I might have said this on one of your other podcasts. I don't remember because I'm that really.
Did we talk about this already?
We certainly had multiple.
Okay.
So someone be like, yeah, you talked about this in fucking episode 5 2 years ago. So good luck, buddy. Yeah, thank you, buddy. Like I lived it. I didn't have to remember it. It wasn't my homework assignment. But that's what it was though. Where
Yeah.
it's like in the '90s, that's why like Marvel fell apart because you had all these like you have the main series, but then, like the Splinter series, where like you couldn't keep tab on what was going on. So they kind of reined that in the early 2000s, where they would do a recap in the beginning of each comic of like, so you were reading like the Avengers, and it was like the Avengers fighting fucking Thanos, and it was they started in issue 47, now you're in issue 50. They would give you a recap of 47, 48, 49 of like, yeah, the Avengers came, they were here, and it was peaceful, and Thanos was like, yeah, fuck you, big dick energy, blah 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 blah, da, 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 da. And it would catch you up real quick, and it would do that every single issue, so you could keep track of what was going on. So then you can go back and read 47, 48, and 49. That's where like I felt the MCU was going. They're in that mid '90s Marvel mode where there were too many things too quick, and you had to do homework to like, well, I had to watch this series and that series, and this episode of this series to understand this movie. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that kind of shit. No, that's stupid. Why am I doing that? Like, I should be able to watch a movie or a show on its own. And if it ties into something, it's a bonus. Instead of like, well, this whole series is created to be the bridge gap between this show and this movie. I'm like, then you failed as a writer to create interest in your properties where you have to create this bullshit series that kind of gaps things. But what do I know? I'm just asshole New Jersey, with a bunch of toys in the background. So
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm a 3D printer. I
I
don't know.
I
It's so interesting. It's like lifting and like not lifting. I don't know. Be done like at midnight. I'll be asleep at that point. So
yeah, that's dope. Yeah, I feel really out of touch on like that stuff nowadays.
you know what? At a certain point in time, it, it was a cultural milestone to be in touch with that kind of stuff. But now it's like I think people are
Burns out.
they're burnt out by it, like just by media because there's too
Yeah,
much.
there is. Yeah,
I know like generations past or like you're saying the same thing with like DVR and cable and whatever else. But I mean, we're so saturated with content constantly thrown at us on our phones, on our TVs, our computers. I think people are just fucking tired of it. It's like there's not enough time in a day,
yeah.
to like watch everything that you want to watch. Like I bought Apple TV, excuse me, for Monarch, the Godzilla series. I saw 3 episodes, really great. Haven't watched any since. That was back in November.
Mm.
It's just it comes down to time. It's like
Yeah.
yeah, you get time to do one thing. It's like, all right, I'm gonna go watch this. Oh, Robin's not sleeping. All right, let's put her down to bed. Okay. So now, all right, now she's in bed. Oh, now I gotta do grades. Okay, I'm gonna do grades here. Oh, now I gotta do drawing here. So I mean, it's like, or it comes time to do the wild frag and danger. It's like, when the mood strikes, hit. When the iron is hot, you gotta strike it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's just those things. It's like you take care of what you need to take care of, or you do what you need to take care. What you need to do, and it's like, all right, if there's time, yeah, I'll go and fucking watch Monarch or X-Men '97 or The Last Among Us or whatever.
Mm.
But
Did you say the last among us or
I fucked that up. It's like,
something?
what was the last?
I can't. I mean, I
My
mean,
God, I can
that's
find them.
so much stuff. So I don't blame you for saying that. Like just
Last of Us, right? The Last of Us.
Last of Us, yeah. But
Last,
it's just
last
like,
Among Us, yeah. Very sus of me to say that.
it just
I might be an
sounded funny.
imposter.
Caught me off guard. No, but I'm with you, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's just too many things. There's
yeah,
just
I have like this like stuff to fill the noise. So it's usually just reruns of stuff now. I don't know, like every Saturday, me and me and Nicole will watch UFC fights. Well, we do markets, but yeah, I don't know. Like, the last thing we were into was Shogun. That was exciting. And then that's it. Just like we just kind of, yeah, it's oversaturation. Just wait though. When people have like regular access to AI softwares to like make their own like short films or whatever. Because
oh, they're doing it already.
yeah, I know.
I mean, we were talking about that at work before, like today. I'm like, AI is just going to take over everything. It's getting smarter, and it's there are some people who are like, no, AI is like it's peaked. I'm like, I I highly disagree. I think we're just at the beginning of the curve of AI. AI is learning, and it's learning from its mistakes. And AI is going to learn from itself to do better. I mean, look how many like just in the art market alone, concept art is all but AI now. That's all gone. Like DC recently like pulled down a bunch of covers because people thought it was AI generated, which it might have been, may not have been, but there was enough evidence where DC's like we're gonna pull this, or like it probably was.
Mm.
So like Skynet's a real thing now. Like fucking Terminator's real. Like this is fucking real life now. So, like we created this monster, and we can't stop it because it's just getting smarter and smarter and smarter. Where a lot of artists, like a year ago, like, oh my god, like look at like there's 6 fingers on this guy's hand. Like, yeah, no shit. You give it a year or two, you won't
Yeah.
be able to tell the difference between, if you or I made something or something else was AI generated or not. The real difference is with texture because
Yeah.
I can't quite generate the texture yet. Once they figured out the texture and like the irregularities of like texture, we're fucked.
Yeah. Um,
You're like, yeah, I figured this out already. I have a whole tech YouTube issues about this. Yeah, it's
I'm just wondering about like when the point of like that burnout, because that's gonna run out too. Like people are just gonna be so. I know I've said this once, probably by myself, but I know I've said it at least once. Like people will burn themselves out with that stuff, and I guess that's where like the hopes of wanting like authentic man-made
it's already
art,
that's
whatever it
already
is, huh?
it's already here. I mean, Photoshop did that 15 years ago.
Yeah.
It's funny now because now with like the rise of AI, where people now are a lot more acutely aware of what's not real.
Mm.
People want silkscreen printed posters. People want, you know, linoleum block prints. People want handmade paintings and
Yeah.
drawings and sculptures because we are inherently people that can like we are a species that connects with our own kind, like we what we make. We can still tell even though AI is getting much better at figuring out how to create things artificially, we still want things that are made by us.
Yeah.
And I noticed this even like 10 years ago, where people were like illustrators were moving away from Photoshop and computer generated programs, and people were starting to do like even like in comics, people were starting to do more acrylic and oil paintings for covers and interiors. People wanted more, this kind of imperfect looking art that was made by people that knew what they were doing. So like you're right. There is going to be a burnout point of AI. The major corporations aren't going to care about that. They're going to
Yeah.
be like, "Oh yeah, fuck you guys. We'll just AI type in whatever bullshit. We'll have what we need."
Hmm.
That's not going away. That's gonna be the norm in like the next 3 years. But the niche markets that like you and I operate in, those people, our audience, they don't want AI. They want you and I, blood, sweat, and tears, fuck ups and everything. That's what they want.
Yeah.
They want to see they want to see your hand in the art. They want to see the brush strokes. They want to see the imperfections. They want to see the where you fucked up and put pro white on a piece of paper and then painted over it and realized that was wrong. So you put another piece of paper on top of it and you drew on top of it. That's what people want. People want things that are made by other people. And inherently we connect with that. It's this very deep spiritual connection that we have, you know, because it's not artificial, it's authentic.
Mhm.
And people are gravitating towards that because they're realizing this entire world is artificial. Things made by machines and made by AI and made by fucking alien robots and whatever else. They want things that are made by, you know, dumbasses like you and I. That's what people want.
Yeah.
And I applaud you.
Dumbass.
Please buy our shit, please. Please, please do. But I mean, but people are kind of they're realizing that of like, yeah, we don't want this like shiny, perfect thing. We want it with it. It looks a little wonky here, or like there's a little ding there. There's a little, piece missing over there. We want that. We want to see that you made something,
Mhm.
you know, but also you made it well. So I have noticed that quite a bit where traditional illustrators, traditional artists who are working with traditional materials, pencils, color pencils, oils, paints, watercolor. I don't even fucking throw in Photoshop at this point because to me that's almost traditional now. Anything that required a human to create,
Right.
people are gravitating towards that, going, "I want that. I connect with that. I resonate with that because your brain, put on a piece of paper or a canvas or a screen, but you interacted with whatever your medium of choice is, and you put it out there for people, and
Yeah.
they're
I think
connected.
I think we talked about that.
I mean, shit, this is just secular at this point. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I know, but that one sounds very familiar, what you were just
I
saying.
probably have said that a couple times already. So
Yeah. But I agree though.
yeah,
I agree with that. Yeah. But hmm. See, that's just like the one lens of it with AI. Because like,
oh,
there's the good and there's the bad. There's the good and there's the terrible.
right. I mean, like we're skewing to the terrible part of it because we're seeing what it's doing to our field. There
Yeah.
are very good things about AI. Don't get me wrong. It's like with anything. There's always a good and a bad to everything. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah,
it's
I'm
just
not trying to fear monger. So
right. It's just unfortunately like for our field, it's AI does have the bad rap, and unfortunately, I don't have a lot of faith in humanity to do the good thing with AI. I do feel like we are going to Skynet. That's our future. Like I feel like that's kind of the end game there with
well,
AI.
well, what's your take on meta AI and the whole, the migrating to Cara for artists?
What now? Oh, so like
Yeah, just like what are your general thoughts about it? Like a lot of people I felt like
it's
emotionally made the transition
yeah,
to Cara.
it's the next shiny toy.
Yeah.
Like, look, I hopped on Hive, haven't done shit with it. What's the other apps here? Hold on. I can tell you
But
right
I
now.
was kind of saying it's kind of it feels like even with like threads, like when threads
Red,
launched, people
Hive.
were excited about that.
Remember Elo? Elo was supposed to be another thing too. Like, I feel like a lot of artists going from to Cara from Instagram was very emotional. You know, and it's not. It's going to be a matter of time before some corporation buys that out and makes it into another Instagram.
Yeah.
It's a matter of time. So, I have not made the move.
Yeah.
I
I
just
I
don't.
don't intend. I think there's a fee too. That's the thing because it's such a, like a starter thing. It's
Yeah,
like it's like in a beta status. So
right.
like
There's a lot
um
of kinks that have worked out. I know people were saying they
was
couldn't.
that and yeah, it's just like it's coming out of the pockets of like the developers, so it's like very like they basically were asking for like some sort of help. But Yeah,
I
I
just
don't like. I don't intend on making them like, cause I mean, cause I'm lazy. I don't want to like restart from the beginning again. But on top of that, just I don't. I don't see like my clients. Like I don't see the potential getting clients through that platform. You know what I
right,
mean? Like it's just another platform to
right.
make your portfolio,
It's just like yeah, it's just like
another online portfolio.
we were on Tumblr 10 years ago.
Yeah, and it's just images too, right? So yeah, like you said, yeah, Tumblr.
Honestly, I don't know. I haven't looked into it. I'm like, I've already gone through and like started different accounts on these different apps that are like, oh, this is gonna be the next Instagram. I'm just gonna say this right now. Nothing can beat DeviantArt from like
Yeah,
2007 to 2009. If we can get that as an app, we're all good. I
yeah,
mean, because I mean, even now, DeviantArt's still probably the best platform for artists.
yeah,
Unfortunately, now it's so rampant with AI and it's so rampant with just image sharing. It's not even like artists creating their work. It's just like I took look, I found this image from Google. This is what this is, and I'm in my gallery. It's like, all right, you're not understanding what this is supposed to like what this platform is supposed to be, but okay, you're 10 years old. I understand. But I mean, there aren't that many platforms for artists that really share their work. I mean, yeah, I mean, Instagram was like the last bastion of hope, and that's like AI just wagged this big dick in front of it, and like, okay, we're gonna do this now. Okay, it is what it is.
Well, with Instagram, it's just everything is so visual, but it's also
Oh,
very
hell,
short
oh my
timing.
fucking
So,
Meta has its own thing. I mean, honestly, at this point, what difference does what does one platform have over another? Especially like like I'm getting to that point of like being an old fuck of like I don't really understand all this different shit now. I
yeah.
just fucking care, you
Yeah,
know.
I just stick with like the platforms where I know
We'll get
like
the
I'm gonna find my clientele, so
right
most cases people have an Instagram nowadays. So like I don't and that's the thing. Like so, obviously to each their own if they decide to make that move or to keep both. Like some people like are, like, yeah, I'm gonna have this account in addition to, but yeah, I just don't see a point on making another online portfolio.
yeah
Like that's
yeah
just my stance on it.
right. No,
Um,
I agree. I didn't like this time. I didn't like take the bait and jump for it. Whereas the other ones, I'm like, yeah, I'll go on. Everyone has this thing, and no one posts on it. Everyone's back on Instagram in like a day or two. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna wait the storm out and just kind of see what happens, and I'll go from there. But
yeah. And like just all these apps, they've like I consume enough of all these apps already. So I just like, of course you want to be able to expand and stuff, but like I got one bridge built now, so I'm just gonna stick with that and just try to get as
right,
many customers or clients to come through it. But yeah, just to start again, like just a new platform, and then like,
yeah, no,
yeah, it's just exhausting thinking
I
about it.
agree. Even like now, like I barely post on anything. I barely post anything as it is. I'm like, oh, another fucking thing, and oh, fuck
Yeah,
that.
exactly, right? So exactly, so yeah, for someone that's not as active, it's like, yeah, why would I want to have like another one that I
Yeah,
may have to possibly pay a monthly subscription for? It's like
right. Or
not
or
worth
again,
it.
like you were saying, how much of my audience is now going over to this platform to follow me?
Yeah. Like I can see that one being helpful for artists, but like not I don't think in like business sense necessarily, unless
Yeah, no, I agree.
unless you have like diehard fans that are gonna like get that, platform to like, yeah. So I don't know. It was very interesting though, seeing that like happening in real time, just everyone announcing they're switching over, and it's like, man,
Yeah,
wow.
I just I'm just kind of waiting it out and going, okay, what's going to happen in 6 months when you all come back to Instagram? This thing fails. So,
Yeah.
like, look, there's been at least 3 or 4 competitors to Instagram in the last 5 to 10 years, and
Yeah.
we're all ghost towns. So, I mean,
It does suck that our content is like now being used though. That's the part that does
yeah,
suck.
don't get me wrong, it's
Yeah.
shitty. It's really shitty that like
Yeah.
like whatever we post is now like public domain when it shouldn't be public domain, and it's like, well, because you post your work on this platform, we have the right to use your images however we want to. That's fucked up. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but with we using these different, like with using all this technology and whatever else, it's like eventually they're gonna say like, yeah, like this is not a neutral agreement. Like we're not a neutral platform. Like you are using us to generate business. We want to use you to generate business off too.
Hmm.
So to some point, it's like yes, there's a silent understanding, but when the quiet part is talked out loud, that's the problem. That's what
Hmm.
people realizing. Like, wait a minute, the quiet part is now being said really, really, really loud. So now like now we're upset it's over this. It's like if you're upset about this kind of shit, then like don't post on then meet social media. But that's just at this point that's like not an option as an artist. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
To me, there's no solid easy solution. It's just this kind of messy, entangled. We have to kind of compromise some of our values
Yeah.
to get what we want, and then their values be compromised a bit to get what they want. It's like you just have to make this unholy allegiance with whatever you decide what your platform is, and just kind of accept that. Like that's the devil on your shoulder. You have to just live with, and it sucks. And it doesn't matter what platform you go on to, what new one comes on to, because they're going to be bought out by the bigger ones anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's very pessimistic. We did I'm going to
Jeez.
bed soon. We need an up note to end on here. So like,
I got something positive we can end on.
okay,
Yeah. Are we putting a bow on this? Anything else tickling your mind that
I mean,
you
yeah,
don't
but
want to forget?
I'm like looking like I do like
Okay. All right, no pressure.
put the bow. Let's put the bow. What's a positive here? What are you thinking?
All right. All right. This is an Alex Gray quote. He says, artists are like the phoenix. They periodically have to self-immolate, burn off an aspect of themselves to give birth to something new. The blank canvas demands you exceed yourself, and most times you fail. This pisses you off so bad you want to quit making art, or make some artists want to quit living. But then you calm down and come back to the work.
Oh, give you credit too. Your enunciation was on point.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I have to say you're getting much better with like the whole speaking part.
Oh, well, at least there's progress.
Yeah, and then we made it as like this asshole just like stuttering through shit and whatever. I'm like, yeah, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's small baby steps. I mean, it's hey, I really will take that as a compliment though, because like I was smoking earlier, so I was like, oh man, if I'm gonna smoke, I gotta try to be on top, just try to be
Yeah,
coherent
yeah,
and not sound so burnt out.
Like, yeah, bro. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's in there still, but
Oh
I
no,
don't know.
yeah, no, it is. But I mean, it's still it's a very cohesive conversation. You know,
I still sound present, right?
I mean, shit. I got my like fucking drop drip DS and water, but it's like, yeah, it's been one of those days. Let me just have some whatever bullet bourbon. It's fine. Sounds all good.
Nice. Well, hey man, I'm glad we got to like catch up. It's
Hey,
always a good hang. And
always. Again, I mean, like, look, I was this close to the text
yeah.
you, like, yeah, let's do this later. I'm like, there's not going to be a later time. I'm not. Let's just do
Later
this
is gonna
now.
be like several months from now.
Yeah, it's going to be like October. You know.
Yeah. No, well, I'm glad you decided to keep, to keep going with it because
I
I mean,
try to,
well, you already know like the invitation's always open, so
but I like to think of myself as like a man of my word, and
mm,
I take that very personally. Where if I tell you something that means something, where like, and I'm telling you, okay, I'm gonna be here, Thursday 8 o'clock. I'm here Thursday 8 o'clock, give or take.
yeah.
Unless something's like catastrophic where I can't do that, or like I really like I'm overwhelmed and like okay, we can postpone it. But I've I, I'll admit it. I've been the artist flake of like, oh yeah, and I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, we'll do this. And like, no, I don't want, like, oh, and I just kind of ghost you. I'm guilty of that 100%. I've done that before.
And
And
we all have.
we all have, but it's like to me, I'm like, I don't like that.
Yeah, I
I've
feel
done
that.
it. I don't like doing it. There are some cases where it's like it might, I don't want to say warranted, but it's like, okay, like shit does happen and like things come up. But I like to be a man of my word. I like to say, like, if I'm telling you we're doing this Thursday, we're doing it Thursday. Or if it doesn't work Thursday, like we will make time for it and we'll make
Yeah.
it. So maybe that's
Yeah.
old school. I don't know. I just feel like I need that this time of event because again I don't have
Yeah.
any people to talk to on a
I
regular
know.
basis.
We should try to. It'd be awesome if we can do another bitch fest. Like tr always try to catch
Where's
up
Rick
with Rick, man,
now?
but
Is he living in a box now? Like where the fuck's
I
going?
don't know. He's just in his own world doing his thing.
Look, Rickman, love you, buddy.
Yeah,
Come
of
back
course.
on.
All the love, Rick, man. Gotta
Or or what do we do a bitch fest with me and someone else?
Yeah, I guess I would have to think of who.
Yeah, the personalities. Yeah, it's like oil, water.
Because
Like
I did the last one was with my female friends and they didn't know each other or anything. So that was like really interesting.
all right. I mean,
I mean, yeah. I mean, I've been thinking about doing it. I just like I don't know with who if I want to do it with somebody I'm familiar with and just have someone like new to them
take the rate.
or like so I yeah, I just haven't like figured out who. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'll just
We'll,
toss it up
work.
there.
We'll make it work.
They're usually special occasions too. I don't know. I feel like when they happen, it's like those are like special. Yeah, they're like kind of like special occasions. So, and I wouldn't want to force it. But it'll come, yeah. When the opportunity presents itself, I'm sure we'll
So, by the
talk
way,
about it.
these resin filters really do work, and now I don't smell the resin, or I'm just so used to it now. So maybe in a couple months I'll give you an update on the resin printer, how that
Yeah,
how
for
that works.
sure.
I mean, I don't know what the hell it's doing. It's doing something. I just don't know what. But it's like it's printing, and the screen's telling me it's doing shit. I don't know what it's doing, but I mean, it's a whole new, like I said, it's a whole new fucking world to me. I don't know what the hell any of this shit. Kind of,
That's hilarious.
yeah.
You do you want me to include your Mr. Boo art account?
But I mean, honestly, it doesn't matter. I don't post on anything anyways. So you could be like, yeah, he's on Mr. Boo Art on Instagram. Well, I just fucking said it. So you might as, yeah, cat's out of the bag. So I mean,
And then Nick Mockoviak. Nick
yeah,
Mockoviak art, right?
but,
So
Nick Mockoviak Art is the email, but it's the art of Nick Mockoviak on Facebook, and then Nick Mockoviak on just on Instagram. I mean, it's you search me up,
yeah,
my dumb ass pops up. So whatever.
yeah. Just for the audience, I mean, whether or not, I mean, you have work up there, so it's not like if they were to go visit, they wouldn't see anything. So I think,
I mean, I've had an online presence for almost 20 years now, being like on DeviantArt for the last 19 years. So I mean, you can Google my name and shit will pop up either on Instagram or DeviantArt or Facebook. It doesn't matter. It's all kind of the same thing. So, um, again, like I appreciate anything that any positive reception you have or comments. It's always a pleasure to have people to check out your work and like really appreciate what you do and show that kind of love for it, and then pay it forward. So, yeah. So just
yeah, but
type my name into the Google machine, as the old folks say, because I'm an old folk now with my five head going on here. So I mean, you do whatever you do whatever you can, and I
yeah,
don't
I'll
have.
make sure. I'll make
Yeah,
sure it's all in there.
oh yeah, yeah. You're professional. I'm
I'll
not.
make it easy for you. No, I don't know about that, but I'll make it easy. I'll make it easy. But yeah, Nick, I always appreciate hanging out this way. And
I should have more. I should have more nights with no kids. This is fun, but this is
yeah,
probably
no,
it's
it's no,
the time between now and God knows
when
when.
when you have to watch, when you have to make sure your daughter's sleep, like those are good times too. So, kids, no kids, it's always a good hang. Um, but yeah, so yeah, whenever you want to do this again, you already know, just hit me up. For everyone, please be sure, if you haven't already, follow if you're listening, subscribe if you're watching, ring the notification bell to keep up with the new uploads. And with that, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay driven, and we shall catch you on the next one. Peace out.